Hello, welcome to Books Are Sick. I'm Nick, and today we're going to do a bookshelf tour and an office tour. A lot of people have asked for this for some reason, so I'm just going to do it. We're going to flip the camera around. We're going to check out my couch area back there, the guitar area. I've got a whole record station right here, a VHS watching station, and of course my bookshelves right behind me that we will focus on mainly because I'm sure most of you just want to see the books. So we'll keep it to books as frequently as possible. But yeah, this is my office. Alrighty, so this is where I spend pretty much the entirety of my life, in this little hole here. So makes sense that I'll do the majority of my video here. I've got my desk, I've got my books. This is a recent setup. I used to, for those who have watched me for a minute, I used to be set up on the other side of my office here. But honestly, the view was crappy. It's basically just looks out onto two of our neighbors' houses. One of them's an apartment. It's not that that's bad. It's just there's not a lot going on. Whereas this window, it's overblown right now because of the settings. But you got the street, got the cars going by, got the trees. It's just a bit of a nicer view. So I moved my desk over here, and this was my wife's idea, and I'm so happy she suggested this, is because my bookshelves side by side just fit on this little wall here. So it really did create kind of like a little bit of a work cave that I really like. And as I said, I've since I moved over here, I've been up here pretty much all day. I'm a photographer, so I do my editing, my emailing, my business stuff here. And I also, this chair is pretty comfortable. Like it just kind of like, does that so I can read here. Just searching around for books is really nice, because I just got to do this. I'm here. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll get that to you soon. And then I do this. Oh, what do I want to read next? Or do I want to organize this? Does anything make sense? And I just really, really love it. The light looks weird right now because I actually have this light here. It's like one of those, I don't know, influencer lights that I don't really care for, but I couldn't get my face to show up because it's not bright outside, but just shooting a camera into the window is never great. So anyways, so let me just quickly show you kind of what I have at my desk here. I'll move this so that you can kind of better see. So yeah, hey, I didn't really move a whole lot, but I thought just so you can maybe see the desk a little more. I've got this plant here that I really like. I'm a big plant fan. And so, I've got this. What I was going to do is I was going to organize and clean up my entire space, but then I was like, I should just leave it, make it a little more real. It's actually not too bad right now anyways. I try to keep it as clean as possible, but I've got, half bag of ketchup chips here, which I'm told ketchup chips are like a uniquely Canadian thing, which I don't know if that's true, but if that is true, that's a shame because ketchup chips, it is the best chip. These are these, and dudes, I mean, I like a sour cream and onion. I like a salt and vin. I like a barbecue. I like all those, but ketchup is the superior chip to all of those. And if you've never tried one, you got to get on it. They are fantastic, and I can't believe that wouldn't be like a worldwide thing. In fact, this has nothing to do with my office, but this was another thing that I just recently found out is uniquely not even Canadian, but just the area I live in Canada. One sec. All right, and so what that was is milk. Our milk comes in bags. I didn't realize that not everybody gets their milk in bags. And so it just comes in this. Our milk comes in a bag like this, and then you just kind of put it in this jar, one of these jars, cut the tip, and that's your milk. And I remember when I found out that not everybody gets their milk in bags, my mind was blown. I was like, what do you mean? What does their milk come in? I couldn't figure, like, milk is supposed to be in bags. It's always been in bags. What do you mean? So, yeah, I don't know, bagged milk. Who knew? Back to my desk. I had an acai bowl. Acai? From this place called Heel. It was pretty good. It's empty now, but the garbage is still on my desk. Got an empty cup of water here. I was pretty thirsty. I am always pretty thirsty. I love H2O. And not much else. Honestly, my intake beverage-wise is pretty much coffee. I know, bad idea. If you saw my last video, the gradual hyperness that I went into, you know why coffee is bad for me. But pretty much just coffee and water, a little red wine, you know what I mean? But other than that, not too crazy. Computer here. I don't know what I'm open on. Emails, probably not a good idea. Not that you can see it anyways. Cool, we'll leave it at that. So yeah, this is kind of where I get everything done. Speaker setup here. This is great. These are just Edifier something or other speakers, but for an office of this size, they're perfect. And I've always had them. You'll show you my record station setup, but I've always just had them there. And then I move them over here because I never just sit in front of my record player. And so I have them over here now, hooked up to the computer so I can listen to Spotify and also listen to my records while I sit here. And it's a very nice experience. So that's been a nice little change. I've got my little phone holder here. So whenever I'm doing like the TikTok or Instagram videos, I just throw my thing there and then I just do it. It's really kind of no fuss, no muss, which is kind of how I wanted this whole thing to be, because the more work that these things take, the less likely I am to do them. So I like to have a very easy, smooth setup. My microphone's always plugged in and ready to go. So anytime I want to do a little vid, I can just kind of like, done. So moving on, this whole part of my office is kind of a little hectic. As you can see, it's a bit, there's a lot going on. I've got all these records here. I've got my photo books here, record player, some pictures I took, plants, and I don't know. There's really only so much you can do with this sort of thing. So I just keep everything nice and organized here. I've got a couple books here. There's really not a whole lot to share about this side of my office because I don't really spend a lot of time here. I just kind of do walk-bys. I'm like, okay, do I want to listen to this? Do I want to listen to that? Or do I want to just kind of look at it and pretend that I'm cool? That's really that. All right, welcome to this side of the office. So this is where my desk used to be. Now I have a couch and I just sit here. I've got my 13-inch VHS combo unit here. That is perfect. I got a tree. I think this is called a banana tree or like a money tree or something like that. Very zen over here. I've got my guitars. It's pretty cozy on a on a night where I'm getting kicked in the back by one of my kids because they can't fall asleep by themselves. I'll sometimes migrate to this couch and just kind of fall asleep here. And it's great. Works out well. Again, the VHS setup is perfect. I've got all my VHS tapes over here that I can cut away to right now. You can see how kind of unorganized and chaotic parts of my life are. I love VHS movies. I love the disconnect of it. I love just turning everything off, coming over here, popping on a VHS, and enjoying my life. I've got my Titanic up here. Big Titanic fan, as you may have guessed. So that is that lights up, but I can't show that to you right now because it's daytime. Lamp. I've got this weight here. This is just so I can stay young. You know what I mean? I actually just brought this up here. I've never used this before. It's 11 pounds though. You know what I mean? So watch out. That's really all there is to this. This is a quilt. We found thrifting. I like this quilt. Next. All right, so before we get to the bookshelves, I'm just going to handhold this for a moment and show you a couple other quick things. So this is kind of this little bunker. Here's the VHS. Here is my little bunker unit here that is just crammed full of stuff. Got my bike, fridge I keep film in there, and just a whole bunch of stuff. Like here's the VHSs here. I don't know if that's focusing. Look at got Misery there. Love Misery. Cook. Godfather Part 2. I don't know, The Stand. There's a bunch more down there. But yeah, I've also got like clothes in here that I don't wear during the winter. Again, this part of my life is a little more chaotic. And also right over here, I've got my influencer light that I just brought up here. I'm getting rid of that as soon as this is over. And got my guitar, lamp, got a punched in little Michael Myers face, and some photos. And I think now we'll go over to the books. All right, so here are my bookshelves. I know this is probably what most of you just wanted to see anyways. I've got, as I said, kind of two side by side here, and we'll kind of go down them. Framing this is a little hard because I'm a little stuffed in here a little bit, but we're gonna do our best. So I might kind of just cut away to some close-ups so you can get a better view of the actual books. But before I do that, right here, Stephen King, Stephen King, Stephen King, Stephen King. And then we go to all fantasy and sci-fi for the rest of it. So I'll do a cutaway to that and kind of show you some of my favorites. I feel like I'm on a talk show or something. So anyways, I've also got this right here. This is kind of like my favorite section right now because I've been really into classics. This is all modern classics and classics. This whole shelf here, again, would probably be my favorite. If I was like to grab one shelf right now and like run out of the flaming house, it might actually be this one. I mean, I couldn't grab all 4 shelves of Stephen King, right? So I might, if I just had to pick one, might be the classiques because I like a classic right now. Uh, Anyways, I've got a skateboard up here. Haven't used this in a minute, but kind of just as a nice like bookshelf feature to have that on top. Kind of frames everything in nicely. You can't really see that anyways, but whatever. So let's go with I don't know what to do now. Like, do I just kind of show you some of my faves? You know, like these, I kind of organize these all by size. So I've got all these are kind of like a similar height. These Stephen King books, likewise here, and then I kind of tried to carry that on for the rest of this. Organization is really hard for me, especially when it comes to books. So I think I did like as good as I could, and I hope that you dig it. I hope this video is bringing you joy because I'm having a real stressful time putting this one together. Okay, now we're down on the lower section. This I like. I like this framing a lot more. I don't have to use that stupid light, so I feel a little like nicer, better lit. Oh, guys, if I seem like I'm out of breath during every take of this, it's because I've got my laptop hooked up to this microphone. I've got my camera on a on a tripod, and I've kind of just been like moving around and like shifting everything constantly before I start recording. So I'm like running around like a crazy person, and then I sit down, press record right away, and I'm like, is this good? So that's why this is probably my favorite frame of the day, though. Look at all these books down here. You know what I mean? So right here. This is my nonfiction and horror section. So there's a lot of my horror section is not as big as you might expect because Stephen King takes up a really big portion of that. Again, not that Stephen King only writes horror. He writes a lot of things that aren't horror. Most things aren't horror, I would say. But that said, my horror section isn't actually that big. It's just from here to about here. And then we go into some nonfiction. Then down here, we have like people, you know what I mean? Like I've got Ted Nolan's book, Pamela Anderson's book, Rick Rubin's book, Judd Apatow's book, and some short story books. And then we just go into like more kind of just modern fiction books down there. I can kind of, you know what I should do? I should just shift. I'll shift over here. It's like the most work I've ever done for a video. This is probably like what people normally do for like, I couldn't do that. I like just sitting in my chair and talking, you know what I mean? But I'm doing my best here, guys. Sci-fi, fantasy. I've got the Mistborn trilogy over there. I love Mistborn so much, as you may know. I've got Leviathan Wakes here, and I've got the Caliban's War, which is book 2. I haven't even read Leviathan Wakes yet, but I'm excited to try that one out because I keep hearing good things about it. I've got the Iron Flame and Fourth Wing books here. I haven't read either of those. That will be something that I do at some point, more just for fun than anything else, but I don't know when I'm actually going to get to those. I got the Jade Legacy down here. The Greenbone Saga, I believe that's called. I'm really looking forward to actually reading that one. I hear that it is really solid the whole way through, so that's always nice to know. I always get a little scared to start a trilogy, like movie, book, or anything when I don't know, when it hasn't ended yet, because I was scarred by Game of Thrones. I don't really watch a lot of TV, and then I got sucked into Game of Thrones, and then it ended the way it did, and I wanted to cry, and I was like, this is why I don't start anything unless it's done, and I know it's good, based on other people's reviews. So I'm excited to read Greenbone. I've also got the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I'm excited to get into that one. Yeah, so this is kind of my little setup here. This is it. This is where I live, and you know, I'm very grateful to have a room in our house that I can just stuff all of my stuff in. It makes me happy. So I might, you know, I was gonna set up at the desk again, but I think I might just end it down here because I am. Oh no, guys! Oh my gosh, that can't be it for the books. Here's what we're going to do. Cut. Let's actually talk about some of these books, right? That's kind of why you're here. So this is the literature section that I was talking about. So you've got some good stuff in here. The Bell Jar, The Road. I don't know if Cormac McCarthy really counts as like classic or modern classic yet. I kind of always forget what the sort of classifications for that are, but I put them up here anyways because they just feel like they should be classics. And that's why they're here. I've got these cool Penguin, whatever you call those, Penguin Classic editions. I love those so much. I'm so basic. I would just buy I like every time I see them at the store I want to buy them just because I think that they're pretty on the shelf. Got the Kafka book here. I love Franz all of a sudden, so I can't wait to read more from that one. Down here, as I said, kind of more modern literature here. We got Tomorrow, The Bee Sting, Young Mungo. I'm really excited to read Young Mungo. I hear just fabulous things about it. And I got The Secret History. I almost put The Secret History up here, but then I put it back down here because I thought there's no way that that's modern classic or classic yet. It will be at some point, I'm sure, but not yet. Got all the Claire Keegan books there. Those just look nice on the shelf, I think, right? They're all the same size, same format, same whatever. So that's cool. I'm still out of breath. I've got all my horror books here. Da-na-na. I don't know what my favorite one from here would be. Maybe it would be Tender as the Flesh. I'm not sure. Probably not. And then I've got nonfiction here. These are all good. People, things. I've got like a little love section. I got to crouch down here. I've got like a little love section here. So you got some Elle Kennedy, some Tessa Bailey, some Allie Hazelwood, some Emily Henry, some Ashley Porter, and some Alina Amos. I haven't read that one yet. The American Roommate Experiment. I feel like that's gonna be a fun one. And then down here are kind of more books that have been sent to me or that I am just pretty far away from getting to. There are some down here that I am really, really excited to actually read, but I just kind of keep them all down here just so I don't get them mixed up with the others. And so here is the Stephen King section. So I'll give you a little close up here. I've already done a video on every Stephen King book I own, so I don't think I really need to go too far in depth on this section here. And I think people get a little bored of me talking about Stephen King all the time, but whatever, dude. I love him so much. So got these here, and again here's where it kind of just turns into all science fiction and fantasy here. I kind of just morph them together because I thought that would just be easier. So got all those, the Mistborn, the first three in the Wheel of Time. I almost called it the Great Wheel. I don't think that's what it's called. And those down there, oh my gosh. And before I forget, I also have these here. These are cool. These are all the Lord of the Rings books, as you know. And this guy, I named this guy Chris. This is Chris. He just hangs out here. I've got a couple dead cacti, and that's it, guys. That's it. I appreciate you watching this, because I feel like this is probably the most chaotic video I've ever made. Thank you for watching. Love you.